Students, welcome to your social science class. Today we will learn about history lesson unit 2, from trade to territory. Let us learn something more about this lesson. Did you know that the British originally came as a small trading company and were reluctant to acquire territories? How then did they come to be masters of a vast empire? In this chapter, you will see how this came about and also learn how East India Company came into power, how trade expanded, how new rules for business were implemented, and also about the Battle of Plassey, Battle of Buxar, etc. Okay, now let's learn something more about the East India Company, which began its trade in Bengal. Look at your screen. In 1651, the first English factory was set up. It was the base from which the company's traders, known as factors, operated. In the warehouse of the factory, goods for export were stored. The company by 1696 built a fort around the settlement. The company continuously tried to press for more concessions and manipulated existing privileges. Now, next we will see how trade led to battles. The conflict between the companies and the Nawabs of Bengal intensified. The Bengal Nawabs refused to grant the company concessions, demanded large tributes for the company's rights to trade, denied any right to mint coins, and stopped it from extending its fortifications, meaning it's a defensive wall against attacks. Fortification means a defensive wall against attacks. They also claimed that the company was depriving the Bengal government of huge amounts of revenue and undermining the authority of the Nawabs. The conflicts led to confrontations and finally culminated into the famous Battle of Plassey. So culminated meaning it reached a climax or point of highest development. Next we will learn about or we get more information about the Battle of Plassey. In 1756, Ali Wardi Khan died and Siraj ud Dawla became the Nawab of Bengal. The company tried to help one of Siraj ud Dawla's rivals to become the Nawab. Rivals means it's an enemy. So after Siraj ud Dawla came to know about the company's strategy, he asked them to stop meddling in their political affairs, to stop fortification and to pay the revenues. So in 1757, Robert Clive led the company's army against Siraj ud Dawla at Plassey. The main reason for the defeat was that the forces led by Mir Jafar never fought the battle. The Battle of Plassey became famous because it was the first major victory the company won in India. The prime objective of the company was the expansion of trade, if it can be done without conquest, through the help of local rulers, then through the territories need not be taken over directly. But very soon the company, that is the East India Company, discovered that this was rather difficult. So in 1765, the Mughal emperor appointed the company as the Diwan for the provinces of Bengal. It allowed the company to use the vast revenues resources of Bengal. From the early 18th century, the company's trade with India had expanded. Goods from India had to be brought with gold and silver imported from Britain. So this is the Battle of Plassey, 1757. It's something very important in this chapter. Next, we will move on to see what happens about the company officials which became the Nawabs. So after the Battle of Plassey, The company officials forced the actual Nawabs of Bengal to give land and vast sums of money as personal gifts. When Robert Clive left India, his Indian fortune was worth 401,102 pounds. So in 1764, he was appointed as the governor of Bengal and was asked to remove corruption in company administration. So many company officials died an early death in India due to diseases and war. Some of the officials came from humble backgrounds and their desire was to earn enough in India and return to Britain and lead a comfortable life there. So those who managed to return with wealth were called Nawabs. It is an anglicized version of the Indian word Nawab. Next we will learn about the company rule expanse. So after analyzing the process of annexation meaning possession taken of a piece of land or a country, usually by force or without permission. That's the meaning of annexation. So after analyzing the process of annexation of Indian states by the East India Company from 1757 to 1857, certain key aspects emerged. The company rarely launched a direct military attack on an unknown territory. It alternatively used a variety of political, economic, and diplomatic methods to extend its influence before annexing an Indian kingdom. And next we will learn about the Battle of Buxar, which took place in 1764. This is another important chapter in this lesson. After the Battle of Buxar, the company appointed residents in Indian states. They were political or commercial agents and their job was to serve and promote the interests of the company. Subsidiary meaning a company controlled by a holding company. So that means there's another superior company which is giving orders and directing them what has to be done. So that's what is meant by subsidiary. Alliance means Indian rulers were not allowed to have their independent armed forces. That is how the British East India Company had their strong hold on the Indian army forces. They were to be protected by the company, East India Company, but had to pay for the subsidiary forces that the company was supposed to maintain for the purpose of this protection. So if the Indian rulers failed to make their payments, then part of their territory, that is their land or whatever belonged to them, was taken away as a penalty, as a punishment. Penalty means a punishment imposed for breaking a law, rule or contract. So that is the information about Battle of Buxar. Remaining lesson it will be